No, I do my rockabilly sound. Listen to Danny's. I can't remember who did this.
That's amazing.
And this was recorded. I had to take it off the original little spool I did, and
So has that been released now? Is that's released?
It's on this. I did this. I'll give you a copy. I got it there, but that was the original receipt for that recording.
1972.
1972, was it? I was
Yeah.
71, 90, yeah, 1972. And that's the machine that we recorded on later. That's the one over in the corner that I went up to London to buy that as well. I was the one who was going up to London. I got this passion of, recording, ourselves, whatever. They just used to leave it to me, do what you want, and I think they were glad that I did and put us on the map with the music, because I used to write the magazines and record companies and, every...
So tell us about when we finish part two, because when we finish part one, so we're recording part two here now. You're just about to record and get a single out. Oh, you done that? You got a single out?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was, and the other thing was it was their own label. Like that was we wanted something like the Sun thing. And I had a friend who worked in Mullock and Sons. He was a printer guy, and he was a big fan. He used to go to Danny Coffee's, and I said, "Oh, could you do a design of because he had Sun Records himself." And I said, we're crazy rhythm and all the music notes around it. And it's always been our own label and sort of thing. So with the success of selling that first single, SRT Music, did they approach us or we approached them? We must have. We said we got some more songs we'd like to record, and they said, we got a good studio in Pinner, London. Dave Robinson, I think, he went on to Stiff Records, and George Bellamy, he was from the Tornadoes. Those two were...
I've met George Bellamy.
George Bellamy?
His son is the guy, lead singer of Muse.
Oh, right. Yeah, George...
He was in the Tornadoes.
Yeah, that's right,
yeah.
Well, that's right. George Bellamy and Dave Robertson, I think it's Robertson or whatever, they must have bought this recording studio in Pinner, and it was old school recording studio, you know, all the big knobs and stuff like, you know, it was probably maybe from the 60s or something like that. So we went up there and we recorded My Little Teddy Girl, Wildest Cat in Town, Teddy Boy Rock and Roll, and was it Bob Little Baby? I got me thinking. Anyway, and it was all live because we had to do a few takes on some of them. We had to make a mistake and everything. But anyway, we had an EP, 4-track, and when everybody started listening to that, oh wow, you know, I mean, this is just amazing, you know, because nobody played an upright slap bass back then. Nobody really knew how it was done, you know. I think it was only till probably Ray Campy came over in 78, somewhere around that period, that a lot of these bass players picked it up, you know. That's what they do, you know, just slap it. But what we did to create, because we still wanted our rockabilly sound, you know, and if you listen to Rockabilly Star and you listen to it, and I remember John Strouder, the producer who did produced our albums Rockabilly and Own Way of Rockin', he swore it was a double bass. And we said, no, it isn't. We tried to tell him, that it was Mike Coffey on the drum hitting the the rim, and in conjunction with, and it was Don Kinsella on bass, number 27, yeah, I'll play it now, it's give me a minute. Talk to me. So when it came out, it was like, you really would think it's a flat bass. That's Mike on the rim. This is 1974, you know, that's like 52 years ago, you know, I mean, like, and that's why we were different. There was no band that was playing like this, you know, like back then.
So because he actually had it right, because it was the percussion bit with the bass.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what a slap bass was, but just done in a different way.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, like, sort of, nobody had, had that sound back then, you know, because that's what we. The thing is, all the bass players we've had, they'd never learned to play a slap upright bass. I've had to do it on sessions. I usually have to do it, you know. I can't believe they just can't figure it out, you know. Give me half hour and I'll be all right. Sort of thing. Like, but they couldn't, none of them. And I always wanted to really have that double bass sort of sound. Of course, all the bands now, and there's some really great slap bass players around now, you know, amazing, you know. A lot of them, you know, I think they've listened to over the years and listened to all the records that will come out, especially in the 70s of the Rockabilly, and they've caught on to it. This is, you know, sometimes they put Rockabilly on labels that isn't Rockabilly, you know, sort of thing. Like, but I like to think that we were there in the 60s hearing this for the first time. It used to be quite amazing because I become like a secretary to Danny Coffey. Because when he was going to America, in the warehouse, he was getting boxes and boxes of stuff. And of course, with customs, Simon Customs, he used to post them to me, to my address. And then when he came home, I would go up there with these boxes. Oh, God. It's just, you can imagine the feeling, like, you know, because he used to have a little record player in the warehouse. I think it must have been like a battery operated thing, because he didn't know what the hell they were, the names and this, and he used to play them on this little oh Christ, that sounds good, oh, I'll have that one, this, that and the other, try that one, it sounds all right, because when he got back home, I'd take the boxes up, and Danny can't even remember half of the stuff that he put in there, and he'd pick them out and he'd put them on his record player. And I was there, you know, because, you know, like stuff that he can't remember exactly what it was. And I was right there and he was opening up the box and putting them on. Oh, bloody hell. Charlie Feathers, Tongue Tied Jill. He had a box of 25. And then Junior Thompson, Meteor Records, and, you know, all this stuff. Like, it's like, oh, bloody hell. You know, this is just amazing. And of course, Cav was there as well, too. He was taking all this in. I was maybe the rockabilly side of it, because Cav was more rock and roll and kind of the rockabilly stuff, but I was always pushing the rockabilly side of stuff. But, of course, we were all really big Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry. You know, so, you know, I love that music. I can't get enough of it now. I'm still playing it, you know, now and again. I haven't played it for years, and sometimes oh, God, I forgot all this. Brilliant. Anyway, like, so going back with that EP, then I was mailing them out. I've been started mailing them out to Europe. And the one that caught on was Rockhouse Records in Holland. And he kept coming back onto me and whatever. He said, oh, you know what, I want to do an album. You know, like, yeah, right, well, fine, you know. You know, you pay for it and we'll do an album. But he kept on back. How did you record this? How did he... He's listening to this EP now, and he's trying to think, I want to get that exactly that sort of sound, sort of thing. And he kept asking me, like, you know, like almost like what knob was. I don't bloody know, sort of thing. It was just a feeling. We went in and it was a good sound, this, that, and the other. So this is 1975 now. Yeah, that's right. Right, 75. But prior to that, we went to the Hard Rock Cafe in Copenhagen for a month. for a whole month playing most nights, I think, till 3 in the morning. I don't know how we did it, sort of thing. Of course, while we were there, I started writing a couple of songs, and he's just a great writer. He was writing songs and everything, because we knew we had to go straight from there down to Holland, to Amsterdam, to record this album, Crazy Rhythm. and of course, we had a bundle of new songs too, sort of thing. And because we'd been playing for a month and everything, we were pretty tight and pretty fast too. You know, I listened back to that album and stuff like that. You know, I can't like keep up that speed. Anyway, so they had this recording studio, which was a joke. This is what is recorded on, till it fucked up, and then, like towards the end, you had to get this 2-track tape machine to finish it off, sort of thing. But it was all recorded on a TIAC, sort of thing, in a garage, because it was so funny. I mean, this garage, our bass player was down in the pit with the bloody cargoes, and he was down in there with mattresses or something. You know, they were trying to dampen the bass sound and everything, and it was all a mistake. You know, he just couldn't create it. And I listened back to it, and it is, everybody's raving about that album when it came out. They just thought it was brilliant, sort of thing. But you know, we weren't too sure. You know, I wasn't like sort of back then. But now I listen back to it, I thought, wow, you know, yeah, we were pretty cool then. And then that caught on with Charlie Records, and we were getting really popular then, sort of, you know, and we were starting to go to other places in Europe and playing, and especially France, and all those places. But yeah, like sort of going back to that time, yeah, it was crazy. And yeah, I'm gonna say it as well, you know, because this is another bad side to all this shit. We never got any royalties. They said that album probably sold in the excess of 30,000, right? 30,000. I think we were paid £365 with the recording thing, and nothing after that. Nothing, you know. And I can go on this side of it, because, you know, I'm the one who really gets so bloody annoyed, because that's, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun a bit, but that's why we started Crazy Rhythm up again, doing our own CDs, and we released Rockabilly, and we were rocking, Crazy Rhythm, and it's like, try and sue us then. You've given us nothing, you know, nothing like this. And we had a great fan from Brussels, who was a barrister, and he took Rockhouse on our behalf to the court. And then, because of Dutch law or something, they said, oh, well, it's gone on too long about the vinyl. But with the CDs, they've started pressing CDs, you know, and they haven't had permission, and won the case. And they panicked like hell. This is Bert and Francis who are running, and they panicked like hell because they knew they were in trouble. And they offered us £800. You know, it's just a joke. Of course, our manager was Paul Barrett then. Sorry, Paul, but you were a useless fucking manager. You know, you signed on our behalf of bloody, you know, sort of, you know, it just makes me mad. It's the same with that. There's a gold album there. Finland. Where's the money? Where? You know, both say like, you know, it's plus 25,000 or whatever it is. No money. You know, and you know, it's exciting when you hear it's, oh Christ, I'm gonna have an album, great, yeah. But you don't think, you know, you sign this bloody contract, and there's a word in it. If it just said forever, we got the rights forever. It don't. It says, is it perpetuity?
Perpetuity.
We don't know what that means.
Hello everyone, just a quick one. If you have enjoyed these videos and are enjoying these videos, can you please like and subscribe to my channel? Thanks very much.